Hi dear friends, we are finally glad to present to you our new builder.
This is the world's first Flutter-based builder.
We have been working on it for a long time and are very happy with how it turned out. We are pleased to present it to you. Our tutorial will be in two parts. In the first part, I'll quickly go through our builder's main features and we can soon put together the Wallpapers app. In the second part, we will put together a ringtone application inside the first wallpaper application. This hands-on approach will help you quickly understand the functionality of the builder. So, we are among our projects. Let's create a new project and name it Cool App. This is the main builder interface.
We paid great attention to the ergonomics and tried to reduce the depth of clicks as much as possible. This dramatically simplifies creating apps because you are working on the same page all the time.
On the left side of the builder, there are basic or global settings. Here is the component section, which contains all application activities. Style, a section where you can set the general color theme and appearance of the application. Basic settings, application name, version, package name, icon, pro features, custom package name, and customize text on About dialog. You can write any useful information here and it will appear in the About window of your application.
Monetize is a section in which you configure the monetization of your application.
Interstitial ad settings, splash screen settings, add mob ads, Facebook ads. Please note that you can now use native ads in Andromo. Services. You can connect here Firebase Analytics, OneSignal, and other services that we will add. Build. The section that contains the Build Your App button, by clicking which you will receive your application by mail, as well as in the form of a link where you can download it. So, on the left side you can make global settings for your application, like app color themes. We have made 7 preset color solutions that harmoniously combine. 4 of them are in a light theme and 3 in a dark one. You can also customize each activity separately.
There are also quick access buttons which essentially duplicate some buttons in the sections on the builder's left side but are right at your fingertips to make using the builder even more ergonomic.
To quickly understand the logic of this builder, you need to understand that your application has 4 levels of settings. Navigation drawer appearance, app bar appearance. As you can see, it is color separated, but you can also make it one with the dashboard, and I will show you how. Dashboard appearance, which is essentially the home screen of your application, and activity appearance, the inside view of each activity. Let's try to customize our dashboard. As you can see, we can change the color of our app bar. If we make it transparent, then our entire home screen will be in one color. Now, let's add the component to our application. You also need to understand that any activity will always be attached to one of 2 groups, carousel group or list group. I'll show you both. But let's start with a carousel group. Now, all the activities that you add below will be automatically attached to the carousel group, and accordingly they will behave in slider mode. Let's add a photo gallery activity. Here is our photo gallery activity. It belongs to the carousel group and will behave accordingly, like in a slider mode. Let's change the background of our dashboard now. To do this, go to its Style Settings, Activity Appearance, Use Background Image. Now we go directly to our photo gallery. Dashboard Appearance, choose Custom Card Styling. You can see that the card is square. If we change its radius to 20, then its corners will become rounded. The card title background color is now white. Let's make it transparent. Let's make a small indent to the left and to the right. Now duplicate our photo gallery. Now you can see that 3 of our photo galleries obey the carousel group and behave like a slider. Let's name our carousel group. Now we go to the content settings and check the box Show Group Title on Dashboard. As you can see, the name appeared on the dashboard, but it is not of the right size and color. We go to the Style settings for the carousel group, Section Title Appearance, and first we will change the color of our title to white. Second, we will make the font a little smaller, and third, we will add a little indentation at the bottom so that the group name does not merge with the activities themselves. Let's also move our whole group a bit. Let's say if we select the value 20 here, then we can see that the group goes down.
Therefore, for it to rise in the opposite direction, we need to set a negative value for spacing.
For example, -40 or even -50. We raise the group even higher so it looks great. Let's save and carry on. Now, let's style our galleries. Go to the first photo gallery. Let's call it something. For example, technology, because let's say we want to post technology content here. Let's go to the dashboard's appearance and select a background image for our activity. Now we need to change the color of our tile. Let's go to the next gallery. Let's call it Art. Let's go to Style, Dashboard Appearance. Also make the title color white. And choose the background image. And we do the same procedure with a third photo gallery. Excellent, our carousel is ready. Now we can fill it with content. All work with your activities content also occurs on the left side of the screen. Select Browse Images and select the images we need.
As you can see, you can make a bulk upload of content.
Now we can perform group actions with content. We can do Select All, Deselect All. We can click on the picture and find out information about it, like size, format, and also give it a name inside the application. We can also select, for example, 2 pictures and then move them down. We can move them up again. If we go to the settings of this activity, Content Settings, we will see that the pictures are arranged in 2 columns. We can change this parameter 3 columns. We can also supply 4 columns. We can supply 1 column. Let's fill out our next photo gallery with content. You can see the number 4 here, which means that there are 4 pictures inside this activity. So our carousel is ready. We named it Categories.
We can roll it up for convenience. When we expand it, we understand what activities are included in this group.
Now let's add a native ad under our carousel group. A native ad is in fact also an activity, and since we don't want to move it, it needs to be attached to the list group. Therefore, we first add the list group and then the native ad. let's make it the right size. Choose our native ad, dashboard appearance. We select a use custom size. We set the size of 2 columns for it, and as you can see, it took up the entire screen, which corresponds to the cut of 2 columns. And if we add 2 rows, then it will become deeper, as you can see. But 1 row is enough for us in this case. And we can choose a background image for our example. In your work, you can independently select the background for your native ads. Now, let's select Custom Card Styling. Let's indent on all sides to get the right size. And also make it more round and give it a bigger radius. We got a native ad that fits perfectly into the size of our activities. Now let's highlight it a bit with borders. To do this, select Card Border Colors. Select Red, and you can see a red border that appears around the native ad. If you want the border to be bold, you can set this parameter in the width column. We save and move on. Next, we will create a few more galleries, but in a different layout. This time we'll add a list group, and under the list group, we'll add another photo gallery. Let's name our list group Top Rated and also write a subtitle. Next, in the list group settings, we activate the display of title and subtitle. As you can see, the group name is located in one column. We need to increase the number of columns for the group to fit in one line. To do this, we go to Style section, Title Appearance, and select 2. As you can see, texts are positioned as we wanted. We will also add some padding at the bottom so that the group name does not merge with the activity. Change the color of the title and subtitle. Now we need to increase the size of our gallery. To do this, let's go to its dashboard appearance, use custom size. We choose 2 rows. Then select Custom Card Styling and indent the activity a few times. Let's make the title activity transparent. And remove the title background color. Now our activity looks monochromatic. Duplicate. Excellent. By the way, our group's name needs to be slightly reduced and made 30 in font size. Now we go to our first gallery and select a background image for it. Let's add some pictures to this gallery. You can see that we have 3 photos. Let's go to the next activity and choose a cover for it. Great, now let's add one more native ad under these galleries. For this, we need one more list group to which we will bind native ad. We can take the native ad we already have, copy it, and drag it to our list group. This is how it will look. Let's add 2 more of the same galleries under the native ad. For this, we need a new list group. And we can copy the galleries themselves and drag them down. Let's see how it will look. Here are our galleries. We need to pull them up a bit under the native ad. To do this, we will add a top spacing with a negative value. We now have a spacing 20. Let's try to put 0. As you can see, the gallery has moved up a bit. Let's set the value of negative 20. Great. You could even put negative 40. Excellent. Now we will do the same with the second gallery.
Next, we will go to our new activities and change their background pictures.
Well, we added different activities. As you can see, we have a carousel group, a native ad, a list group with 2 galleries, 1 more native ad, and 2 more galleries. Let's do some work on our dashboard. First, let's call it Wallpaperium. Also, let's remove the navigation drawer because we don't want it in this application. I also want to show you another exciting feature of our builder. We are in the settings of the dashboard, which we named Wallpaperium. We can add shortcut buttons or action buttons in the app bar. As we remember, the app bar is the upper part of our dashboard. We mark this setting, and now we can add different action buttons. For example, we can add a link. We can also choose an icon for it. We can place it at the top of the screen. We can make it white. And we can type in any link here. When a user clicks on this button, he will be immediately directed to this link. We can add one more action button, for example, phone. And we can add an email. We can also place buttons horizontally or vertically.
These are useful quick access buttons that you can use to improve the usability of your application.
Well, we created the Wallpapers app. I want to say a few words about monetization. The main monetization settings are located on the left side of the builder. For example, if you want to work with AdMob, you check the sections and insert IDs into them. Banner ad ID, interstitial ad ID, native ad ID. Likewise with Facebook ads. After you make the basic settings, you go directly to your activities and you can enable ads at the level of your activities. For example, go to the first activity, Ads section, Banner settings, tick the Show Banner on the activity box. You can see a BAN icon appeared on your activity, which means that a banner advertisement will be shown inside. And you choose the banner of which network you want to put depending on the settings you set on the left side. Let's say you want AdMob banners to be displayed inside the application. Mark AdMob. We do exactly the same procedure with interstitial ad settings. Check the box Show Interstitial when navigating an activity and select, for example, Facebook. Now you can see that the inscription INT has appeared on your activity, which means that interstitial ads will also be displayed here. Okay, great. I've given you a brief overview of our builder and we created a Wallpapers app. Hope it was informative for you. You can ask questions in the description of this video and also send your inquiries to support. We'll be glad to assist you. Now we go to the second part and we'll create a sounds and ringtones app inside our Wallpapers app. Please join us and discover our new builder more. Well, let's move on to the second part of our video. I'll show you the cool things we created. It's called multiple dashboards. This allows you to create dashboards within the dashboard, which will give you the ability to create a hierarchical structure within your application and make it as deep as you want. Now we'll create a sounds and ringtones app inside the wallpapers app. You will see how easy and fast it is. So, first of all, we need to add another dashboard. We go to the layout and select dashboard. Let's call it sounds and ringtones. Now we need a button that will take us to the second dashboard. Go to Components, Buttons, and select the Dashboard button. Let's drag it to our last list group of the Wallpapers app. Now we need to give it an assignment. Indicate which dashboard it will lead to. Select our second dashboard, which we named Sounds and Ringtones. After that, we go to our main dashboard. Scroll down and see our dashboard button here. If we click on it, we will go to our second dashboard.
Let's edit our button first.
Select it and go to its Style Dashboard Appearance. Use Custom Size Settings. Let's give it 2 rows and maybe 2 columns to make it look big. Also, let's make the title and title background colors transparent. And adjust its size. Let's give it a 10th radius and small indents on all sides to make it look more harmonious. And let's give it a background image. Click on the button and go to the second dashboard. First, let's change the app bar appearance. Choose the back button instead of the navigation drawer. Now, if we click on it, we will get to the interface of the first application. Now I want to change the background of this application. Now, let's insert an image into our app bar. To do this, we'll select the app bar appearance of our app and select the Use App Bar Background Image. Let's adjust its size. As you can see, this picture blends a little with our dashboard's name, so we'll make it transparent. To do this, we select the Custom App Bar Theme, App Bar Title, Set Transparency. The inscription has become transparent, and now our icon on the app bar is visible. Now let's create our application. Let's start traditionally with the group carousel. Let's call it Categories. Add an audio player. Let's display the name of the ad group on the dashboard. Set the size for the group name. Go to Style section Title Appearance. Let's give it 3 columns of space. Let's choose black. Font size 30. We'll also make a small indent from the bottom so that the group name does not merge with the activity. And let's move up the entire group through the top padding, setting its negative value. Super! Now let's adjust the size of our audio player. Let's give it 2 columns. But that's not the size I want. We need to add more columns at the level of our dashboard, and then 2 columns at the group level. It will be the size we need. You need to remember that the dashboard's level size options take precedence over the group size and activity options. Now let's remove the border of our activity. Make the card title and its background transparent. We will also add a small margin to the left. Now let's duplicate our audio player. We have created 3 activities with the first carousel group. But if we scroll through them, we see that the carousel runs within the first column. This is because the carousel group is 1 column in size. If we put 2 columns, then the carousel group will increase by 1 column. We put 3 columns and the carousel group works as we want. You need to understand the size hierarchy. First, set up dashboard columns. Then the size of the group, carousel or list. And we can also set the size of our columns at the activity level. Now, let's set background images for our activities. Now let's add content to our first activity. Let's call it Techno. Add a background image inside the player. Let's add a track to it. Click on the track, read information about it, add the track name and artist. The name appeared on the left. You can listen to it. You can also expand the list with your tracks. Now let's add music and background images to all other activities. Save and return to our dashboard. Now let's create a new activity group. This time it will be a list group of activities. First, let's roll our groups from the first dashboard for our convenience. By the way, here you can well see that the list group and carousel group have different icons. This is to prevent you from confusing groups when you rename them. And second, if you add an activity without adding a group at the beginning, then the activity will be added along with the list group by default. This list group was added automatically when we added the dashboard button. We dragged the button to another group, and this one we can use for our next activities. So we will drag it down and add an audio player to it. Let's call our group Popular. Display its title on the dashboard. Now let's give it the correct dimensions. Let's change the color, size, and make small indents. Now let's set up the first activity. Let's also set padding and transparency for the title and title background. Now let's copy it a few times and add background images. Great, we now have such a list group. It does not move and you can arrange the activities this way. Moving on, let's create a pair of YouTube activities in the carousel group. For example, you can illustrate your sounds with YouTube videos so that users have a desire to be inspired by it and use your ringtones. Let's call the group World Hits. Display the group name on the dashboard. Let's set the size of our activity. This is how our activity looks on the dashboard. Let's first set the group's name, the correct size, color, and padding. Now let's adjust the size of the activity. Duplicate our activity. Now let's set background images for them and put YouTube links in them. Excellent, save and move on. Now let's add a native ad. First of all, of course, you need to add the list group, and then native ad. Adjust its size. It looks great. By the way, you can leave it with a border, but highlight it with a different color, for example, red. Also add a background image to it. We save, and now I want to show you another exciting carousel group. Add a carousel group and set up its title and sizes. Great, this is what our group name will look like. Now let's add some activities. It has this size. Let's resize it a bit. And of course, the title and title background are transparent. Now let's copy our activity 9 times. This is how a carousel with 10 activities looks like. And now for the most exciting moment. We again go to the carousel group settings, content settings, and now we will arrange our carousel not in one row as it looks now, but in 2. We now have a 2-row carousel. Looks great, doesn't it? Now we need to change the background image for our activities and fill them with a content. Now you can see how beautiful and varied our application looks. Now let's add a dashboard button that will guide us to the first dashboard. Add a list group for it. The preview screen has turned gray. You will need to assign a path where your dashboard button will lead for the preview to work again. Now, let's set the size and image for our button. Here is our beautiful button. Click on it and go to the first dashboard. Let's add some action buttons. Choosing our dashboard, sounds, and ringtones. On the left, we mark Use Action Buttons in App Bar. Let's add some links. This link can lead to our Play Store page, this one to our SoundCloud playlist. Great, we made 2 different apps in one in just half an hour. Finally, I would like to show you another cool feature. If we collapse all groups and activities, we will be left with 2 different dashboards, which are 2 different applications. You can drag one dashboard to the place of another and they will swap places. And now Sounds and Ringtones becomes our first app to open first on the launch, and Wallpapers app second. Great, isn't it? I think you can do something interesting as well. We'll be looking forward to watching your progress in the Play Store. Follow our new tutorials. We will record a few more videos that will help you better understand the capabilities of our builder. Thanks for your attention and have great builds.